Good day, I am Shahana J. Suraji from Group 10, The Last Reporter, and now we will be talking about the anxiety disorder. So imagine this, guys. You're getting ready for your work or to go to school to take an exam, and your heart start to race. So kinakabahan ka na, yung kamay mo nalalamig na and pinagpapawisan ka na, and your mind begins to race with thoughts of what could go wrong. So this feeling of unease is something many of us have experienced. So we call it anxiety. But here's the thing. Anxiety isn't just about feeling nervous before a big event. So when anxiety becomes more than an occasional experience and mag-start na siya mag-interfere sa day-to-day life mo, it can be a sign of an anxiety disorder. So, let's talk about anxiety disorder. So, ano nga ba ang anxiety disorder? An anxiety disorder is a type of mental health condition. It's a psychological and physiological response to stress, characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. Anxiety is the body's natural response to stress. It's a mix of psychological and physical reactions that can make you feel tense, worried, and even physically unwell. And while we all feel anxious at times, for some, anxiety can go beyond a temporary feeling. It becomes persistent, overwhelming, and it can affect everything from their work to their relationships. So anxiety is different from fear. Fear is the emotional response sa present threat, yung feeling na nakukuha mo kapag nasa panganib ka. Ang anxiety naman, on the other hand, is the anticipation of a future threat. You're worried about what might happen, not what's happening at the moment. Let's proceed to the types of anxiety disorder. Anxiety disorder come in various forms and they affect each person differently. First, we have generalized anxiety disorder. So this condition causes fear, worry, and constant feeling of being overwhelmed. It characterized by excessive and mga unrealistic worry about sa everyday events. Next, agoraphobia. Itong condition na to, cause to siya ng intense fear of becoming overwhelmed or unable to escape or get help. People with agoraphobia often avoid new places and mga unfamiliar situations or places. Next, panic disorder. Characterized by unexpected panic attacks, intense fear that seem to come out of nowhere. Sometimes, may kasama to siyang physical symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath. Specific phobias is an overwhelming fear of specific objects or situation like flying or heights. Next, social anxiety disorder. This condition happens when you experience intense and ongoing fear of being judged negatively or being watched by others. Next, we have separation anxiety disorder. This condition happens when you feel excessive anxiety if mahiwalay ka sa iyong loved one or sa special someone mo. Last one is selective mutism. This condition happens when you don't talk in certain situations because of fear or anxiety. It usually affects mga bata or young children, but it can also affect adolescents and even adults. Next, let's talk about the symptoms of anxiety. So, anxiety symptoms can range from psychological to physical. Psychological symptoms may include feeling panic, fear, dread, and uneasiness, feeling on edge or irritable, uncontrollable, obsessive thoughts, and difficulty concentrating. Physical symptoms may include restlessness, heart palpitations, shortness of breath, muscle tension, cold or sweaty hands, dry mouth, and insomnia. And these symptoms can get in the way of your day-to-day life, making it difficult to perform at work, maintain relationship, or even just to get through the day. If you frequently experience these symptoms, it's important to talk to a mental health professional. Hindi kayo pwedeng mag-self-diagnose lang. So what causes anxiety disorder? Like other types of mental health conditions, researchers don't know exactly what causes anxiety disorders. But they have several factors na they think na nag-cause ng anxiety disorder. So let's talk about this. First, we have personality factors. People with certain personality traits like being perfectionist or mga highly self-critical may be more prone. Family history. A family history of anxiety or mental disorders can increase the risk of having anxiety disorder. Psychological factors. So, yung mga previous negative experiences like childhood trauma and mga learned behaviors. Brain changes. A part of your brain called the amygdala plays an important role in managing fear and anxiety. Study shows that people with anxiety disorders show increased amygdala activity in response to anxiety cues. Environmental factors. Severe or long-lasting stress can change the balance of neurotransmitters that control your mood. So experiencing a lot of stress over a long period can contribute to an anxiety disorder. Genetics. Anxiety disorder tend to run in biological families. So this suggests that genetics play a role. Environmental stressors, traumas, major life changes, or chronic stress. And lastly is chemical imbalances. So several neurotransmitters and mga hormones play a role in anxiety, including the serotonin and dopamine. So imbalances dito sa mga chemicals na to can contribute to an anxiety disorder. Let's proceed to the treatment. So how are anxiety disorders treated? So an anxiety disorder is like any other health conditions naman na nag-require ng treatment. And anxiety is treatable naman. It's not something you just have to live with. So here are some treatment options if you have anxiety disorders. Is psychotherapy and of course medications. Cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's the most effective therapeutic approach for treating anxiety. Exposure therapy, a technique that help individuals na harapin yung takot nila in a controlled environment para mag-reduce sila ng avoidance. Mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Stress management techniques like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and mga mindful medications. Beta blockers. So it can help control the physical symptoms ng anxiety like rapid heartbeat. And there are also lifestyle changes that can help manage anxiety, such as exercise, eating well, getting enough sleep, and avoiding caffeine and alcohol. Anxiety is real, it's challenging, and it can feel isolating at times. But it's important to remember that it doesn't define you, and there is always help available. And of course, seeking support from a therapist, trusted friend, or family member can make a huge difference. By raising awareness about every mental health condition, we can help more people to seek help if they need to. And that would be all for my report. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something from me.
Good morning, everyone. I am Arabella S. Salvano, and for today, I will be tackling about the autistic or the autism spectrum disorder. First of all, I will be giving a clarification about kung ano ang autistic and ano ang autism. Even though iisa lamang ang autistic and autism, they have a distinct concept. Una, ang autistic is nagre-refer sa taong mayroong ACD or autism spectrum disorder. A person who identifies as being on the autism spectrum, embracing their neurodiversity. While ang autism naman is yun yung disorder mismo. Now, let's know kung ano ang autism for us to know more about the autistic people. First, let's have a brief history of autism. Researchers have been working on autism and autism-like disorders since noong 1940s pa. Noong time na yon, yung mga nag-aaral patungkol sa autism ay kakaunti pa lamang at magkakaiba ang definition ng autism na kailang ginagamit. Minsan pa nga, nasasama ang autism sa ibang conditions. But in 1980s, mas nagkaroon ng focus o malalimang pag-aaral patungkol sa autism spectrum disorder. Nang kilalanin ito ng DSM 3rd edition o ang Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorder. So simula noon, nag-start ang pag-aralan ng mga researchers ang sanhi, sintomas, at karaniwang sakit meron ang ASD like kung anong mabisang gamot at iba pa. Ngayon naman, alamin naman natin kung ano ang autism. Autism is a developmental disorder with symptoms that appear within the first 3 years of life, like when a child is already 3 years old, where he should already know how to speak, walk, and such, pero it's still not happening. So, it can lead to ASD. Now, ASD is categorized by some degree of difficulty sa social interaction and communication. Other characteristics are atypical patterns of activities and behaviors, such as difficulty with transition from one activity to another, a focus on details, and unusual reactions to sensations. Atypical patterns means ito yung mga kakaiba o hindi pangkaraniwang mga pattern ng pag-uugali, pag-iisip, o pakikipag-ugnayan. Like when a child who have autism read books or watch movies, the child picks up and organizes the information differently. While ang isang neurotypical persons or sa mga taong walang ASD, they identify everything with 4 legs that barks as a dog. Pero para doon sa mga taong may ASD, each type of dog is unique and nakakategorize sila individually sa mind niya. For example, kapag ang isang bata ay nakakita ng isang hayop na may 4 na paa, sa utak niya, aso yun. Pero kapag yung may ASD, kapag nakakita siya ng isang hayop na mayroong 4 na paa, and they have a distinct characteristic na iba yung physical na anyo ng aso, so sa isip niya, nakakategorize siya na, yung asong yun is unique. Like, pwedeng maging husky or pwedeng maging bulldog yung aso na nakita niya. Sa ASD, mayroong word doon na spectrum which indicates that autism appears in different forms with varying levels of severity. So, it means that each individual with autism, nakaka-experience sila ng unique strengths, symptoms, at challenges. Merong mga levels ang autism. Sa level 1, dito, they still require support. Pero, ito yung mildest form of autism. Noon, referred ito as Asperger's syndrome. They may need support, but they are those who are highly intelligent and have some extreme ability. Next naman ay ang level 2 ng autism. In level 2, they require substantial support. They may have average intelligence but still they need help in other areas. They may have noticeable issues with language and behavior. Next naman ay ang level 3 ng autism. Ito naman yung mga individuals na may severe learning disabilities with communication and behavior, so they needed a highly structured support pati na rin sa kanilang daily life. Ngayon naman, malalaman naman natin kung paano na-describe ang isang autism spectrum disorders. Psychiatrists and other clinicians rely on the 5th edition of the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders o ang DSM-5 to define autism and its symptoms. The DSM-5 definition recognizes 2 main symptoms area, which is ang una, the deficits in social communication and interaction. Pangalawa, restricted, repetitive behaviors, interests, or activities. So, with this, autism is diagnosed when symptoms cause developmental challenges that are not better explained by other conditions. Next, we have the different type of autism. Kinuha ko lang dito is yung primary lang. First, we have the autistic disorder, often referred to as classic autism. Ito yung form ng autism most people traditionally associated with the condition. Itong type ng autism, it involves a significant challenges like social interactions, communications, and behavioral patterns. Because of this, individuals with classic autism typically nangangailangan sila ng mataas na level ng support in their daily lives. Second is the Asperger's syndrome. Ito naman ay isang condition on the autistic spectrum characterized by milder symptoms compared to classic autism. Mayroon din siyang significant challenges in life. Siyempre, hindi mawawala ang social interaction challenges. They often find it challenging na makabasa ng social situations like, is it awkward ba or something, and navigate the conversation smoothly. Next is the language and communication challenges. They develop language skills on time at may strong vocabulary sila pero nag-struggle sila on how they express what they're saying in terms of like humor or sarcasm. They are having a hard time identifying those things. Next challenges is the restricted interest and repetitive behaviors. They often develop an intense, focused interest on a specific areas or topics like in learning or studying. Last is the attention to details. Halos lahat ng may Asperger's have keen attention to details, patterns, minor challenges na hindi napapansin ng iba. Dito rin sometimes ata pumapasok yung tinatawag na OCD or Obsessive-Compulsive Disorder. Because of this, they generally require less support compared to the others. The third type naman ng autism ay ang pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified o ang PDD-NOS. So, they are often called atypical autism. Isa itong diagnosis given sa isang individual who displayed some characteristic ng ASD but did not fully meet the criteria para ma-diagnose siya like autistic disorder or Asperger's syndrome. Sa significant challenges naman nila sa buhay is nadagdagan siya ng sensory sensitivities, yun yung ayaw nila sa maingay, developmental variability, showed a mix of typical and atypical developmental like children might excel in certain areas pero nagsistruggle sila sa iba. Ang last naman sa type ng autism is the Childhood Integrative Disorder o ang CDD, also known as Heller's Syndrome. Ito ay isang rare at severe neurodevelopmental disorder na nakakaapekto sa bata. It is characterized by a significant loss of social, language, and motor skills after at least 2 years of normal development. Like, maagang natutunan ng isang batang may CDD ang about sa language acquisition, motor skills, and social interactions, pero between sa edad na 2 at 4, nagkaka-experience sila ng pagkakawalan ng previously acquired skills or abilities. Because of this, needed nila ng support o tulong every day. Now, let's go with the autism presentations and behaviors. Individuals with autism o ang mga autistic individuals may present a range of symptoms such as reduced eye contact. Isa ito sa mga typical symptoms na nakikita natin sa isang taong merong autism. Next is the difference in body language. Sa atin kasi mga normal na tao, parang it's very different nga. Kasi may mga ginagawa sila mga body language na hindi normal para sa atin. Next is the lack of facial expressions. Ito yung sinasabi ko na kahit may nakikita silang, may narinig silang mga salita na nakakatawa or something ganon, hindi nila na-express sa sarili nila or sa expressions nila yon. Next is the not engaging in imaginative play because they are very serious nga. Like, they are very realistic people talaga. Next is the repeating gestures or sounds. Next naman is closely focused interest. Panghuli is the indifference to temperature extremes. So, yun yung mga typical symptoms ng isang autistic individual. Ngayon naman, malalaman natin kung paano na-diagnose ang isang autism. So, physicians and specialists may use one or several of the following screening tools. Una dito ang Modified Checklist for Autism in Toddlers. This is a revised MCHAT, a 20-question test designed for toddlers between 16 and 30 months old. Next is the Ages and Stages Questionnaire, so ang ASQ, a general developmental screening tool with sections targeting specific ages used to identify any developmental challenges a child may have. Next is the screening tool for autism in toddlers and young children o ang STAT. It is an interactive screening tool comprising 12 activities that assess play, communication, and imitation. Actually, wala akong makitang photos or examples nito sa Google. So, next naman ay ang Parents Evaluation of Developmental Status o ang PEDS. Is a general developmental parent interview form that identifies areas of concern by asking parents question. So, yun yung mga screening tools na ginagamit ng mga physician para ma-diagnose ang isang tao kung meron ba siyang autism o wala. Next is the key occurring conditions of autism. This may include anxiety, depression, epilepsy, gastrointestinal and immune function disorders, metabolic disorders, sleep disorders, attention deficit or hyperactive disorder or ADHD, sensory processing disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder or OCD, motor difficulties, and learning disabilities. So, because of this, sabi ko talaga mahirap ang pinagdadaanan ng isang taong merong autism spectrum disorder. Kasi, meron ka na nga nung disorder itself, pero may mga co-occurring conditions ka pang kailangang harapin as a autistic. Now, alam nyo ba, sa movies and books, na-features na yung mga characters na merong autism, which help them to bring autism spectrum disorder into the public's consciousness. So, because of this, some have ignited controversies, others have increased the public's general understanding of autism. Ang example ito is yung one of my favorite K-dramas is yung si Extraordinary Attorney Woo and the series of The Good Doctor. So because of this, they are hoping that people will rely on evidence-based research to understand autism spectrum disorder better. So that's all. Thank you.
Did you know that excessive thinking or what we call overthinking can lead to stress-related disorder? So dapat wag masyado tayo mag-overthink para hindi ma-stress at humaba ang buhay. My name is Momia Kaysedik and I'm with Mr. Johal Sultan and we are going to talk about stress disorder. So first, let's define what is stress disorder. Stress disorder is a mental health condition that develops after a person experiences or witnesses a traumatic or highly stressful event. It affects a person's emotional and physical well-being. So, minsan nade-develop ang stress kapag masyado tayong exposed sa stressful environment, gaya na lang ng toxic workplace or even our home. Nagmumula ang stress sa mismong pamamahay natin. So next is the causes of stress disorder. So meron tayong trauma, chronic stress, genetic factors, childhood adversity, and imbalance of brain chemicals. So pag-usapan muna natin ang trauma. So nakukuha ang stress disorder because of trauma or exposure to events like natural disasters, accidents, violence, or abuse. So next is the chronic stress. So nakukuha ang causes ng isa ang chronic stress sa stress disorder, causes ng stress disorder kapag continuous ang stress from relationship, works, financial problems, or health issues. So number 3 is genetic factors. So minsan namamana rin ang stress disorder kapag isa sa member ng family nyo is mayroong mental health history. Then pang-apat is the childhood adversity. So, minsan kapag nakukuha ang stress disorder, kapag may experiences in early life like neglect or family instability kapag feeling mo hindi ka kasama sa pamilya, lagi kang nanineglect. Yun ang isang factors ng stress disorders. Then, number 5 is the imbalance of brain chemicals. So, stress may alter neurotransmitters levels affecting mood and behavior. So, minsan nakukuha ang stress disorder because of imbalance of brain chemicals. So, minsan is dahil sa hormones, kaya nagkakaroon ng stress. Lalo na ang babae, prone ang babae sa stress disorder kasi masyadong iba ang hormones ng babae, nag-iiba ang mood swings, ganun. So next, we are going to talk about the types of stress disorder. We have the acute stress disorder or the ASD, the post-traumatic stress disorder or the PTSD, adjustment disorder. Number 4 is the generalized anxiety disorder or the JAD. Number 5 is the panic disorder. Number 6 is the obsessive compulsive disorder or the OCD.
So the acute stress disorder or the ASD occurs within days or weeks after a traumatic event and typically lasts from 3 days to 1 month. So, ang symptoms nito is the intense anxiety, intrusive thoughts, flashbacks, nightmares, and detachment. So, number 2 is the post-traumatic stress disorder or the PTSD. So, it develops after experiencing trauma and lasts longer than 1 month. So, symptoms can persist for years. So, ang symptoms nito is flashbacks, nightmares, avoidance of trauma-related stimuli, hyperarousal, and mood changes. Number 3 is the adjustment disorder. So, the adjustment disorder, ang cause nito is emotional or behavioral symptoms that arise in response to a specific stressor. Like job loss, divorce, ganyan. Doon nakukuha ang adjustment disorder kasi nag-a-adjust ka, syempre. For years, nagtatrabaho ka, tapos bigla kang fired ng manager. So, yun, mag-a-adjust ka naman sa bagong environment or bagong work na mapapasukan mo. So, ang symptoms nito is feelings of depression, anxiety, and difficulty functioning symptoms typically resolve after the stressor is removed. Then, number 4 is the generalized anxiety disorder or the GAD. Ang cause nito is chronic stress and worry, often without a clear trigger. So, ang symptoms nito is persistent and excessive worry, restlessness, fatigue, and muscle tension. So, the rest is si Mr. Joel Sultan na po ang magre-report.
So, hello everyone. I'm Joel Sultan. So, this is the continuation of the type stress disorder, no. So, number 5 is the panic disorder, no. So, the words panic, no, is yes, sobrang familiar sa atin and like marami na-experience nito, no, nitong panic disorder, no, is palagi siya ng ano natin, no, like pag ano yung sa mga halimbawa nito is yung mga worst na pangyayari, ano, is like sunog, ganyan, no, or may nangyayari sa mga ano, no, like mga tabi mo, ganyan, so nabibigla ka, so nagpapanik ka doon, no. So ito siya, no, is yung biglang pag-atake, no, sa matinding takot rin is pwede rin ano yung ano rin, no, yung kahit na ano, no, yung wala namang ano siya, yung malinaw na panganib, no. Yes, nagpapanik din ka doon pag ganun. So, ito siya, no, is maring may kasamang mabilis na tibok na puso, no, and hirap sa paghinga at pakiramdam na mawalan ng control, no. So, yes, totoo naman, no, is pag nagpapanik talaga tayo is nawawalan tayo ng control. Kahit ako is na-experience ko talaga yan siya, no, like yung gasol namin is bigla siyang naglaki yung apoy, so ayun, yung tibok ng puso ko is grabe talaga yung tibok niya, no, and then naroon din ako siya, nagpanik din ako, and then di ko alam din anong gawin ko. So yun, no, yun yung panic disorder, no. So the next is the obsessive compulsive disorder, no, or OCD, no. So ito naman is yung mapilit na karamdaman. So ito siya, no, is yung ito ay ano siya ng dulot ng cycle ng obsessions, no, like paulit-ulit na nakakabalibag ng mga iniisip mo, no, or iniisip, no, ganun, and conclusions sa mga paulit-ulit na kilos o gawa upang mabawasan ang pagkabalisa, no. So mayroong mga uri ng ano, no, obsessive compulsive disorder, no. Yung ano nito is yung first is the ano, no, yung contamination, no, or yung pag-aalala sa kalikasan o yung siya tawag dito, yung contamination, no. So halimbawa nito is yung ano, no, like labis na takot sa mga alikabok, dumi o sakit, no. So dahil doon, no, is yun, lagi ka hugas ng mga kamay mo at nag-aiwas ka sa mga bagay na sa tingin mo ay marumi, no. So yun. So next naman is the checking, no, or checking obsessive compulsive disorder. So ito naman siya yung ano, yung pag-check mo sa mga ano, no, yung mga gamit mo, no, or like yung pag-check mo sa gasol, no, mga ganyan na kahit alam mo naman is yung na-off na siya, no, and then yung ulit mo siya na i-check, no, para ma-sure mo lang, no. So ganun yung checking obsessive compulsive disorder, no. So the next is the symmetry and other lines OCD, no, or ito yung pagiging perfecto sa kaayusan, no, like yung ano, no, yung pag may ginayos ka, kailan mo talaga is perfect, no, kumbaga kahit 1 inch is walang lalagpas, no, ganun. So yun. And then next naman is yung harm OCD, no, yung takot sa takot makasakit ng iba or sa sarili, no. So halimbawa nito is yung pag-iwas, no, sa mga pag-iwas sa mga matutulis na bagay, no, dahil sa takot ka yung ma-aksidente or makasakit, no, ganun. Like yung yes, minsan yung iba rin, no, is yung takot talaga yung humawak ng mga matutulis, no, or mga ganyan. So next naman is the hoarding OCD, no, or yung pag-iimbak ng mga bagay, no. So halimbawa nito is yung pag-iimbak ng mga gamit, no, like mga lumang dyaryo, gamit, or kahit wala namang kumbaga hindi na siya napapakinabangan, pero yung ano tawag dito, yung tinatabigod, di ba? Like mahilig dyan is yung mga matatanda, ganyan, mahilig sila magganyan, no. So ang tawag doon is hoarding OCD, no, or hoarding obsessive compulsive disorder, no. So ang next naman is religious or moral OCD, no, or ito na yung pag-aalala sa mga pag-aalala sa moralidad o pananampalataya, no. Halimbawa nito is yung paulit-ulit na paglasal o pagsisisi kahit wala namang kasalanan na nagawa. So next naman is the treatment for stress disorder, no. So meron dito is meron tatlo, no. Ang first is psychotherapy, and third is medication, and third is stress management techniques, no. So itong first, no, psychotherapy, no, is para pagtulong niya is yung ano, no, like pagtuturo kung paano baguhin ang mga negatibong iniisip, at pagkilos, no. So yun. Sa medication naman is yes, yung mga gamot, no, is nakakatulong siya para makabawas ng anxiety at depression, no. And third is the stress management techniques, no. So ito na yung pagsasanay sa pahinga, meditation, at suporta mula sa pamilya o kaibigan, no. So that's all, ma'am. Thank you.